Back in the 90s, when I used to have my nationwide sports talk show, I used to always tell everybody there are no guarantees in gambling. Look it up, guaranteed in gambling, not on the same page of any dictionary I've ever seen. And I managed to prove that point again, unfortunately, last night. I'll tell you what, guys, as a gambler, as a handicapper, you can research a game every which way but loose. And that's what I try to do. I probably spend a good 3 hours every single day handicapping the games. And there was a game yesterday I absolutely loved. And I loved it just as much as I loved the game on Sunday that I gave you as my revenge game of the year, part number 1, when I delivered with Northwestern over Indiana. And I was on a nice little roll, had hit 3 of the previous 4 days, and I found another game on Monday's card, my revenge game of the year, part number 2. So I released that one as well. And I loved Lehigh. Lehigh, a 7.5 point favorite at home against Boston University, a team that beat them like a drum in the season's first meeting. But Lehigh was at home last night, and they were 7-1 at home. They had won 6 of their previous 7 games. Boston U on the road this season was dreadful. I think 2-8 straight up with the Terriers were on the highway. And I thought, what a great place to take Lehigh. So I'm watching the game. It was nationally televised, and Lehigh jumps out to an 8-0 lead. And I'm feeling pretty good here. And then all hell broke loose, because Boston U goes on this tremendous run. I think they just scored again, in fact, and they win going away by double digits. Go figure. Again, no guarantees in gambling. And I don't mean to be cavalier when I say those things, but it's just the truth. And it's the reason why I've always said to you, and if you watch these videos over the years, or if you've gotten my picks over the years, or if you used to listen to me on the radio, or gotten my tip sheets over the years when I used to do that as well, the bottom line is this. It's why I've always maintained that as a gambler, as a handicapper and a gambler, you cannot celebrate the wins, nor can you lament the losses. I wasn't here turning cartwheels on yesterday's video report because I won with Northwestern on Sunday night, and I'm not going to sit here and cry my milk and blame Lehigh for playing miserably last night, or come up with alternate facts for reasons why Lehigh lost the game, because a win is a win and a loss is a loss. There is no middle rail. A win is a win, a loss is a loss. No gray material. Again, Kellyanne Conway would not fit in our business. There is no alternate facts here. A win is a win, a loss is a loss. People that get hung up, gamblers and handicappers alike, on the winning and the losing, you miss the next money-making opportunity right there in front of you. Yeah, it sucked to end the betting week with a loss, but you know what? Today's a new day. It's a new betting week. It's time to start finding another winner, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. Yeah, it sucked last night. I should have maybe used the Memphis Grizzlies, which I gave you as a free play. It was my second favorite play, and they pounded the Phoenix Suns on the road yesterday. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But guess what? I'm not that type of guy. A lot of handicappers in this business will come up and they'll say, oh, I should have used my free pick instead, or I keyed the wrong game. Oh, Christ, please give me a break. You know what? It wasn't Lehigh's fault that they lost last night, or they cost me the game. I pulled the trigger. Wrong game. Move on. That's how it goes. And again, I don't mean to be cavalier, but as I said in Sunday's video report, we do this because we're action junkies. At the end of the month, at the end of the week, at the end of the season, at the end of the year, we want to win more money than we lose. That's why we do this. You have to do this, and the acknowledgement going into it that you realize that sometimes you're going to lose more than you're going to win. But we do it for the long haul because, again, we're action junkies. Suck. Lehigh blew. But you know what? Move on. You find another winner tonight. Free picks. And again, don't mean to be cavalier about it, but that's just the reality. And if you can't accept that fact, then you can't be gambling. That's the simple fact of life. Complimentary plays. Let's see. So I won with the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday, and then I watched UT Arlington, a team that I've ridden twice in the past week, once as a 15-dime best bet, and then as a free pick. They were lousy last night. 6-point road favorite, and they lose outright at Coastal Carolina. Go figure. Tonight, complimentary play. I'm going to go with the Butler Bulldogs at the Hinkle Fieldhouse to rebound from a loss that they just suffered at home to Georgetown 85-81 on Saturday in revenge. as a 6 to 6.5 point favorite against Creighton. Now, when Butler lost to Georgetown, it was quite a surprise because they had won 14 straight games at home going back to last season, and they had won 4 straight games coming into that contest. They shot well in the game, shot over 54%. The problem is they played absolutely no defense. They allowed Georgetown in that game to shoot 64%, which was shocking because Butler in its previous game at Seton Hall last Wednesday, I think it was, they held the Pirates to 29% shooting, and that was on the road. Now, Butler had won, 6 of its previous 7 games. The only loss in that stretch, yes, you guessed it, ironically, was in Omaha to the Creighton Blue Jays. But that was a different Creighton team than the one they're playing tonight because that Creighton team had its senior starting point guard, Maurice Watson Jr., leading the way with 21 points. Now, he, of course, on Martin Luther King Day, a couple Mondays back, in the upset win at Xavier, suffered a season-ending ACL injury. They are not the same team. That's the bottom line. They're coming off a 71-51 loss to Georgetown, a 102-94 home loss to Marquette. Those were their 2 losses before they managed to beat a really bad DePaul team in their most recent outing, 83-66 over the weekend. They're going to have a tough time here tonight because, listen, Creighton's not a very good rebounding team. They don't play a lot of defense, and their offense doesn't run nearly as smooth without Watson in there running the show because they've got a couple of freshmen that are now sharing time running the point. I've got to think that Butler's going to recommit itself to defense tonight. And Butler can put points on the board. Now, is it a big number? Yes, it is. But, again, I give you those 2 games, the first 2 games without Watson at the helm. And Creighton lost by 20 points at Georgetown and lost by 8 points at home to Marquette. Right? So that's why I like Butler here to rebound tonight with the revenge win here in this particular spot. So I'm going to go with Butler. Your other complimentary play, I'm going to go ahead and lay the big number with North Carolina minus 18.5 points at home tonight against Pittsburgh. Now, North Carolina is 5-2 in its last 7, laying double digits, including a cover last Thursday at home against Virginia Tech. Now, they followed up that game with a contest Saturday at Miami of Florida where they played lousy, losing 77-62. You know, they had won 7 straight games coming into that contest, and they scored at least 85 points in each one of those 7 victories. Pittsburgh, though, a bad team. They're coming off a 67-60 home loss to Clemson. That's a Clemson team that had lost 6 straight games. Game before that, Pittsburgh at home, destroyed by Louisville, 106-51. Game before that, they were in Raleigh, North Carolina, lost to the Wolfpack 79-74. Game before that, at home against Miami of Florida, lost that game 72-46. Bottom line, they have lost 6 straight games. They're the worst defensive team in the ACC. Miami of Florida did a great job defensively against North Carolina. They slowed down the tempo of the game. A North Carolina team coming into that contest, averaging over 89 points a game, number 4 in scoring. Again, only 62 points in that game. After the game, Roy Williams was very upset that he felt that his big men were not aggressive enough on the blocks. And Kennedy Meeks, the starting center, only took 3 shots. Isaiah Hicks, the other big man, only took 6 shots. So you had your 2 big men only taking combined 9 shots. These guys combined to average 25.3 points and 15.1 rebounds. If your big men aren't taking shots, well, you're not going to have aggressive play either. You're going to miss numerous attempts to get second chance opportunities. You're going to miss getting free throw opportunities as well. You got to have aggressiveness. So Roy Williams, I think, put the seed in their ears to get more aggressive play tonight. The other thing is, Joel Berry, who's had a great season, averaging a little over 14 points a game. He was 0 for 8 against Miami's guards and only finished with 2 points. Is that going to happen again? I don't think so. So I think that, again, Pittsburgh being a lousy defensive team, loser of 6 in a row, I think that North Carolina coming back home will come out here with a vengeance, and I think they will look to pound Pittsburgh in this game, and I think that Roy Williams will not let up on the Tar Heels in this contest as well. And I think you can look for North Carolina to put a hurting on Pittsburgh here tonight. So Pittsburgh and Butler, two teams coming off losses. I look for both of them to rebound for the win and cover here this evening. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.